Welcome back, guys. We've got a new video. FM23 have released a new feature video where there's features in it. There's 5 features. I've got a screen just here in front of me, and I'll be reading off it. What little notes I've picked up, little things that we can look forward to. If you haven't watched it yet, maybe you haven't watched the 42 minutes, maybe you looked at it and thought, a bit too long, don't have time. I'll try and condense this into a 12 to 15 minute if I can. That's my aim, right? Apologies if I go over. I'll try and get under. So I know I've not done a video in ages. That all changes. I'll be doing videos now more often than ever. When the new FM comes out, I will be doing video. You'll not be able to get rid of me. You'll literally be sick of seeing this face, if you could ever get sick of it. So, number 1, squad planner. Started off for me a bit weak because I plan my squad in my head, sort of thing. Like, I know what's going on. All the different pieces are being like sort of jiggled around up here, so I sort of know this player's going to be playing this many minutes, this player's going to be playing here, this player's going to be playing there, this guy's going to be playing a couple of seasons after he's loaned out. I suppose for people that can't do that or don't do that or it's not their preferred way of doing things, I get it. Squad planner, I don't think I'll use it. I'll touch upon it on stream for people that are wanting to think about buying the new game and new features, and I'll probably touch on it on stream. But what I put down is it just plans the recruitment for the season. Your players won't know your plans, so like I said in the video, you can like put like your star striker third choice if you plan on bringing 2 big strikers in or whatever. It's sort of like for people that play FIFA, especially, it's sort of like concept squads, right? Concept squad, like on Ultimate Team. Not much to say about that in my opinion. We'll see. I think it's got a place. Why not? Why not? More features the better if they work, right? That's the thing with them all. If they work, fine. I don't mind. I can stay away from it. I can use it. At least it's there. So for me, I'm just going to touch upon that really quickly. That's what it's going to be. You can plan your recruitment, make plans, etc. It's a squad planner. Anyway, moving on. Scouting. So they mentioned in the video there's recruitment focuses. Like assignments, it says there's 4 stages in scouting that the scouts go through, and then it gives a big list and it starts to like whittle the list down. So who your scouts think is the best for what you've put in your criteria. And then afterwards there'll be near misses page where people that maybe were just an inch too tall for your criteria. Maybe you put, I want 6'2" centre backs at least. They have to be 6'2", but there's a 6'1" guy that's hitting every single other criteria, but he's at 1 inch smaller than what you want. You can probably like, doesn't matter about an inch, does it? That's what she said. So there's a near misses page. Or a player's too old. Maybe you said, I don't want anyone older than 25. There's a 26-year-old that's doing really well. You might, do you know what? Yeah, fine. So with these scouting recruitment focuses that they've done, you have to trust your staff, apparently. That's what they said. They said you've got to trust your staff. Now, that's all well and good. And I've put here, it says, will they act better? So will they do their job better with better attributes? Now, it sounds ridiculous. Like, duh, of course they will, Lewis. Right? Well, why is their attributes? I don't know. I don't trust my staff with anything. Literally, I don't think anything. I'm trying to think right now. I don't trust them with anything. I do everything myself. So I don't think I'll use... Scouts, I do trust. Yeah. I think we just got to look at it, right? See what happens. All these things have got question marks next to them, right? It's like, they all sound good. Or, okay. But do they work? That's the thing. Agents, and now you can respond to an agent's demand in the availability screen. So you can, it's like a meeting before a contract to see if your player wants to join, right? That's quite good. I like that. I like the agent thing. On the other side of that as well is actually what I've seen is if a player, so you know before if a player rejected a contract, it went orange, and then you did another bid and it went all red, and then you have to wait like 3 weeks to speak to him again. Now you can actually speak to his agent to try and coax him back into another discussion, which I quite like. So you can sort of like undo the bad work, but maybe I don't know how you have to do. I don't know how you go about it. Maybe you offer him a promise like, okay, yeah, sorry for the last discussion, but this we can do this, we can do this. We'll see. Again, if it works, I like it. I like the agents thing. Transfer deadline day. I didn't get much about that because they said something about it, and it's like a review of where you're at. Now, I know they said that transfer deadline day last time they put it in last year was a big thing. I understand to a degree. I think if that's one of your main features, no, it's not this year, but like last year, if it's one of your main features, it's a bit weak. So I've not really put much about that. They touched on it a little bit, but it's all into the recruitment thing, the scouting thing, and it's like a lot of it felt like it's sort of the same thing as we've had before, but just redone and on a different screen. It's like, no, I need more. I need more. So this one, the match engine. This is my bread and butter. This is what I wanted to hear. I was a bit glazed over for the whole video. I mean, I was making notes, so I wasn't, but nothing was getting me going until they mentioned the match engine. Now, again, there's a lot of good things got said about the match engine and the little segment they did. And again, I'm going to say it again. I'm probably going to say it after this as well, and I'll probably say it in future videos if they release something else. It all sounds good, but will it actually work? If it does, perfect. So I've got a lot on the match engine. It's the biggest segment because it's the one that I have the most issue with. It's the thing that I have my most frustrations with the match engine. The things that happen inside it, how it works, etc. Anyway, that's another discussion. So they talked about AI managers and they wanted to get more details and that, like, so the game might be harder to play against the AI. So styles of play for each manager is more detailed. They also said that you'll be able to sit in a low block and soak up pressure and counter attack. Again, sounds amazing. In reality, is it practical for them to be able to do it? We'll see. I'm going to try and do it. I will probably sit and try and make and take over a team in like newly promoted to the Premier League or Serie A or whatever, or La Liga, and I'll try and do a soak up pressure counter attack tactic. If I manage to do it and manage to, because it's something I'm going to be doing from day one on off stream, off video, I'm going to be trying to make sit back and soak up pressure counter-attacking tactic. If I can, I'll release it on the YouTube. So on the YouTube, I sounded so old then. On YouTube. God, I'm so old. Anyway, it says there was more options in the defensive tactical screen. So now there's options where you can like tell your defenders to hold the defensive line so they don't keep dropping back. They hold it. So it's sort of it's not an offside trap in terms of you rush out. It's sort of like hold. Like I've been a defender myself, and I've had to tell like the three other defenders with me. I've like hold or like out. Like you decide. There's one guy usually that decides where the line's going to go, how far you go up, etc., pulling people around. So I quite like that. I imagine it probably. I'd like to think that it goes hand in hand with like leadership of your defenders. And communication. I'd like to see communication as an attribute for defenders as well. Just a little thing I'd like to see. Communication as a defender. I really like to see that. Because I know it's there for a goalkeeper, so why not a defender? Anyway, another discussion. So, you can now choose to hold defensive line or drop deeper. That's another little option we've got, which is quite cool. So maybe you start the game as a whole defensive line, but then you're 2-1 up, 80th minute, you might want them to just, do you know what? Nah, don't keep risking that. They brought a guy on that's quite fast. Drop if you have to. There's also pressing traps, so you can press on the outside and push them inside, or you can press them on the inside and push them outside, which I quite like. And then you can also invite crosses or stop them. So maybe if you've got 3 centre backs and they're really tall, you want people to launch crosses in because you'll just head them out and counter attack. It showed you as well that goalkeepers have more animations to stop shots. I like it. Like with the stopping with the feet, they're stopping it different ways. They're much better with the ball at the feet as well now, they said. And the short goal kicks and long goal kicks are better balanced. Now, for me, that was driving me mad. I don't know if you guys saw it much, people are watching the video. I don't know if you saw it. But the amount of times that AI goalkeepers would just smash the ball over my defenders, it didn't matter who I had at the back. It didn't matter who the goalkeeper was for them. It didn't matter his kicking attribute. It didn't matter his passing attribute, his vision attribute. It did not matter. People with awful attributes were just taking goal kicks like Edison. It was just ridiculous. And then on the flip side, my goalkeepers that I've been told to play out, they weren't. They were just whacking the ball at the pitch. And it's like, there's no point in everything else that I've set up if my goalkeeper is going to bypass it all. There's no point me telling my DM to be a halfback to drop in to pick the ball up. There's no point telling my wingbacks to come inside or to come out wide. There's no point in any of that if your goalkeeper acts like an idiot. There's not. So if that's fixed, I am really happy. They also said that defenders react better to passes, their body position, etc. So, for example, before they'd just be facing that way if the ball was over there. Now, hopefully, they'll be like sat like that, so they can see the ball, they can see people in the box. That'll just feel more real. It'll feel like they're reacting and they're alive and they're there, which I like. Again, if that's true, we'll see. Another good thing, again, there's a lot of good things in the match engine. It's a lot of talk. And I want to see it happen. And I'll be really pleased. And I'll be the first person to say, do you know what? Really good. So, another thing I really like to see, another thing I've complained about, and another thing that they talked about. Strikers and attacking midfielders pressuring from behind to win the ball. So, what I mean by that is, in previous FMs, the one we're playing now, and God knows how many before it, it's felt like to me, not all the time, because it happens sometimes, but very rare, but in real life it happens a lot. It feels like there's zones in the game. So like if this camera like that you're looking at now is the this side here is the pitch. It felt like there was zones. So like a zone there, and a zone there. And it felt like if a defender got past that zone, the striker wouldn't leave the zone to come and press him. He wouldn't. He'd sort of, even if he was a pressing forward, he'd sort of stay in that area. So if the ball went to the other centre back in that section, he'd press it. If it went to the full back, he might press it. But as soon as the defender goes past that imaginary line in the pitch that I feel like might be there under the hood that we can't see, they didn't go and win the ball. So they said that the midfield is more chaos now, which is good because it is in real life. Midfield is the hardest position to play in football. I've played everywhere and it is the hardest one. You constantly have to be, like, you have to have eyes up your ass. It's ridiculous. So I'd like that. Midfielders that come in from behind to tackle and win the ball and then you counter-attack, or again, it'll feel more alive and more realistic. If that's in the game, I'm going to love it. Animations in possession are all overhauled, apparently. They said it feels more real. There's outside of the foot shots and chests and volleys in the same action rather than chesting it down and then it waits and then there's a volley. Again, just feels more fluid. I'd really like that. So that's the match engine I've talked about, and I'm 12 minutes in. I'm not going to touch too much on the rest of it. There's new licenses for the Champions League. There's music, the theme tunes, making the European games feel more real. The graphics, the lineups, the cup draws. If you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, that's what they're doing. It makes the Champions League feel a bit more special. I like that. A little touch, but I like it. I'm not sure I'd put it as a massive feature. I think it's good information. I think it's a really good decision and a really well done for the team to get those licenses. But I don't think it's a feature. I don't know. For me, anyway. There's also trophy lists as well. New trophy lists with competition logos, and the cup draws are a little bit more unique, which I like. And then they went to supporter confidence. So now there's a breakdown of supporters type by percentage on a separate page in your vision page, in your club info. And it tells you how many percentage of your fans in a club is casual, hardcore, fair weather, which means like only turn up when it's sunny, and if it's raining and cold, they might not be there. It tells you how many social media followers that your club's got, season ticket waiting lists, fans' opinion on their influence with the board. So, like, do the board listen to the fans? Do they notice that the fans have turned on a manager and they act? Or does the board, or like, for example, Arsenal with Arteta, they held firm. Outside pressure, they held firm. That's our man, and it's in its fruition now, right? So there's a lot of things. It's like another way to try and keep your job, which is real life. It's realistic because there's a lot of pressures from everywhere as a manager. It must be really difficult. So like I said, there's a breakdown of supporters type on a separate page, what sort of fans you've got, social media followers. I mean, people might not like that, but it's just there. You don't have to have it. It's not a bad thing. You might think it's pointless, but it's just a little thing. It just tells you. It's the way it's the times we're living in, right? I quite like the supporter confidence. If it works properly, I keep saying it, and I keep having to say it, but if it works properly, fantastic. I'm all up for it. And then the last thing that they mentioned, because I don't want the video to drag on for too long, I understand that people have got things to do, you've got people to see. Dynamic manager timelines, and they left this to the end, and I thought it was a good touch because it sort of brought everything together. Basically, it's a story page of what you've achieved in your managerial career. So if you're on Journeyman, it tells you like, oh, I remember when I was at that team 5 years ago in Africa or Asia, anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're on Journeyman, and you can be like, oh yeah, I brought this guy through, and there's like things that pop up on your storyline, and like if a young player gets brought through your system and you give him his debut, or they're just like moments in your career that you can look back on, and it's sort of like a story. I quite like it. I like it because Football Manager is about nostalgia and memorable moments and remembering certain players and Nugents and Wonder Kids, and I like it. And it comes at the end of the season in a season review, and it tells you the story of that season. And then there's obviously a bigger one that tells you the whole save that you've done. I quite like it because, especially as a streamer and a YouTube video maker, content creator, again, so old. The dynamic manager timelines could immerse the viewers into your save. You can look back and be like, oh, do you remember that guy from that save? I mean, we do that anyway, but it's easier to check. So there's a lot of good things. I hope that's not it. I hope that's not the main features and that's it. The match engine, I really hope is good, because it's my main thing. I can take or leave almost everything else. I'm not displeased with much else. It's the match engine for me is the main crux of my issues with Football Manager. So they've said a lot of things that I've liked. Let's see if it happens. Comment, guys, what you wanted to see or what you think we might see, and then I can have a look in the next video if they do more, and I can look at the comments and be like, well, oh, this person said this person said that. That would be a good idea. We can discuss things. We can get things going. We can get a chat going, guys. So yeah, I won't be a stranger. And apologies you've had to look at me so close, right? Apologies. Look, this is me. Apologies. But I thought there's no point making me small in the bottom corner. It's stupid. So here I am. I'll probably do more videos at this level, so it's a bit more personal, isn't it? It's basically like you sat here with me talking. But yeah, we'll do more videos. Thank you for watching. I'm whittling on. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Peace.